All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Harakak Wadash, double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutes to all the 144,000 elect out there. Alright, coming back at you with another lesson out here. Getting the bit of sun while it's there. Going into the time of summer. So, Lord willing, I'll be doing a lot more of these outdoors, either walk and talks or sit downs, or some of the breakdowns as well. I'm going to get onto this breakdown, Joel chapters 3, and Lord willing, I can do it in how many verses are here? 21 verses of Joel 3. Lord willing, I can do it, because there's not that much verses in Joel chapters 3. So go and see if I can get through the breakdown in one lesson, in one sitting. Without further ado, Joel chapter 3 from the top says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." So that's what we're looking forward to. Some prophecy. The Lord's going to take us out of slavery, pursuing to Jeremiah. The precept to that is Jeremiah chapters 30 and 3. He's going to take us out of slavery and return us back in our own land. That's going to be the northern tribe as well as the southern tribe. The 10 tribes of the northern tribe and the Judah, Benjamin and Levi, northern and the southern tribe. So that's what we be looking forward to, man. You know, talking about the sweet. We've got so much sweet, and it doesn't compare to the bitter what we're going through right now. Reading on, and I also will gather all nations and bring them down. Right, man. Gonna gather all nations, and I will bring them down unto the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people. Right. So the valley of Jehoshaphat is Armageddon, or meaning valley, mountains of troops. Right. So my people, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered, among the nations, and parted my land. Right, and they have cast lots. We usually be touching on this one here, verses. Now we're in Joel chapters 3 and 3. Right, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot. Right, this is what they did, man. This is what they did with us. These disgusting people. Yeah, that was one heck of a punishment. Right, the Most High, when he's angry, you know about it, right? He says that, cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. And this is kind of self-explanatory. So this is the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28, 63. Let me read that. Bring out a precept on this point here. Deuteronomy 28:63. Now, if necessary, I may do when I can get into some words. Usually when I be doing those types of videos where I'll be getting into the words and the blue letters and some of the Google, I usually be doing those type of videos in the house. But if I have to do that, I can always do this, go over it again, and most likely get more precepts. You can add more precepts. You can get into the words. You can get into the etymology of words, some of the Greek and the Hebrew. If necessary, I can do that at a later date. But right now, I'm out here, man. I couldn't resist this, being out here and getting some of that somewhat fresh air and some vitamin D. So, the fulfillment of Joel chapters 3 and 3. Deuteronomy 28 and 68 says, "And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships." Right, because this is the mother of Babylon, and Babylon is Egypt, modern day Egypt. And we know that by there always been elders and apostles be mentioning they got the what they got on the dollar. I think it might be the £1 dollar or $1. They got pyramids on some of their paper over there in America. So not only that, by the conduct and by the treatment we be getting, we know we're back in Egypt, modern day Egypt, right? Shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spoke unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, right? And that's exactly what's happened, right? This is the fulfillment taking place of Deuteronomy 28. This happened, right? Be sold and be bartered for being cast lots, a girl for boy for a harlot, girl for wine, as sodomites. So right, and it was also sugar, rum, and also gunpowder, and all forms of different types of cattle they sold us for our forefathers. So that's what you call bitter, right? Our enemies for bondmen, back to Jeremiah, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Sold your enemies for bondmen and bondwoman, and no more shall buy you, and no one shall buy you, meaning that we ain't gonna get no deliverer or no form of freedom fighter. Many tried, many failed, likes of Marcus Garvey, the so-called Pan-Africanists, Martin Luther King. What ended up with him? He was shot down. What's the other one? A lot of them other freedom fighters. Khalid Muhammad. What's the other one? Malcolm X. All those that tried to deliver us or buy us ended up being assassinated in one way or another by poisoning it, or one way or another. So that shows you that's the fulfillment right there. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. So let's get back to Joel. We was in 3 and we're in 4 now. And let's read 4 of Joel chapters 3. It says, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of the Palestinians? If I'm pronouncing that right. The coast of Palestine, that's it. And will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. So yeah, man, what he said, what have I to do with you? Palestine represents the Arabs of those the Arabs, right? And you got the Tia or Tyre, that's the Hamites. Yeah, they all had a part in our, the bartering and the slavery, the trading with Israel. So they're all guilty, right? Of this is our homeland. So right, once again, let me carry on reading. And what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye not render me a recompense? Right, there you go, man. They're going to be punished for that. And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Right, they're going to have to pay for it, man. Right, Tyre and that's Arabs today. Tyre is the Hamites, the Philistines are the Arabs, right? It's just another meaning for mixed people. Yeah, this is our and that they are living in the Most High, in saying they have nothing to do with the land, right? So they're living in our land right now, right? And they have no part in no real heritage, and the Most High is going to repay them. Job, right? Job, the precept to that is Job 9 and 24, right? The world has been given into the hands of the wicked. Right now, you got him over there in our land doing all types of abomination, right? The Arabs, them, right, and the Amalekites, them, doing all kinds of abominations. What they call that, the kosher swine, the yearly celebrations, what they do, which is alphabet celebrations, to name a few of the things that they be doing in our own land. So, but the Most High says He's going to recompense them, right, for the things that they've done, using us, and up to this day still have us in slavery. So let's jump down, carry on reading it in 5 now. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried carried, because a lot of it is self-explanatory. So I'm going to let the scripture speak. Carried unto you your temples my goodly pleasant things, right? The gold, the silver, the valuables, right? A lot of the valuables, and ultimately we're the valuables. We represent the Most High's jewels, precious gems. Carried us away, put us in, in their workhouses, their corporate world, even up to this day in their corporate world, in a lot of their religions, right? That's why you got J. Cool caught up in the, as Muslims, not even knowing, that's part of the Deuteronomy 28. Going to bring us into a fierce people with a fierce countenance, right? And they're going to rise up, and you're going to be very low. They're going to rise up against you very high, and you're going to be down under them very low. So that's, once again, that's part of prophecy. So reading on, man. So that, as I said there, the gold and the silver, the valuables, and over here in Babylon you got the Bank of England, which represents one of the unclean frogs. They've got our gold in there, in the vaults, right, beneath the Bank of England. So that's the corrupt banking system, which they're using our gold to do their corruption. So reading on, because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried unto your temples my godly pleasant things. Right, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem. And when I first came over here, it was all quiet. Right, I was here quiet, and I just started the video. You had a group of people come over. One wanted to stand right in front of the you can't make this up. And now you got, well, it's all right. They might clean the boats over there. They're cleaning the boats. So, but you know how it is. You know how it go already, Akim. Right? Spirits be active. So let's jump down to 6. And you kind of expect that when you're doing your outdoors videos. But like I say, if the spirit jumps on me, I can do it, go over it again, and bring out certain other maybe precepts, and certain other get into certain words in the Hebrew as well, in the blue letter. As time goes on, that's what usually takes place anyway. You always build more on something as you're building, because this is a house building, this is the temple building, this is the building of the Most High's temple, which are His people. So carrying on reading, Joel 3:6 says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. The Grecians are today the modern day Edomites, which are described in the scripture in this verse as the Grecians, right? The original Grecians were the sons of Japhet, right? Before the Edomites took over that land. So that's in fulfillment of, or the precept to that is Amos 9:6. From their borders is America, right? And the borders is America, right? So I will not turn away the punishment. Let's get that. Moses said, you're not going to turn away that punishment. So the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders. So Joel chapters 1. I said Joel, I meant Amos chapters 1:9 says, thus saith the Lord, of 3 transgressions of Tyrus, if I'm pronouncing that right, Tyrus, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant. Right, yeah, that's the Edomites, or in the original Grecians were the Edomites, as described in what we're reading right now. But I will send a fire on the wall of Tyrus, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Here's the point. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did not perpetually, he kept perpetually, and his anger did he tear perpetually. He kept his wrath forever. Yeah, and that goes back to also Genesis 25, and he says he's not going to forgive his brother. You know, loosely paraphrasing, Esau and Jacob, and he said he was never going to forgive his brother. He's going to get vengeance, going to take vengeance upon his brother, because he put it in his words, he was stolen of the birthright, or robbed of the birthright, which was all in line with prophecy anyway. So he kept his perpetual hatred, and that's also brought out in Deuteronomy, Ezekiel 25. Yeah, to back up the point, he has a perpetual hatred for Jacob. Esau has a perpetual hatred for Jacob. So that's the precept to Joel chapters 3 and 6. Let's go back to it. Joel, we just read Amos 1 and 9 and 11. The precept to Joel 6, 3 and 6. So let's carry on reading. Let me take a little deep breath while I'm reading, and I'm taking the scenery as well. Get my it gets my creative juices flowing, man. I really much prefer to be out and about. And yeah, sometimes you have to be around. You see folly, you do see a lot of folly, but that's part of we're behind enemy lines. Let's carry on reading Joel chapters 3 and 7 says, Behold, I arise them up out of the place where ye have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head. Furthering the point, right? So there's a precept to that one. Let's get that precept. Zechariah chapters 2. Let's get it and read it. Zechariah chapters 2 and 6 says, Ho, ho, come forth, and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord, for I have spread you abroad as four winds of the heaven, saith the Lord. Right, man. That's what he's saying there. All right, that's the precept Zechariah 2 and 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon. I just be noticing some strange things. Anyway, I'm not going to say what I just saw. All right. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. Right, there you have it, man. The nations that spoiled us. Another word is to grape, and grape means to seize. And yeah, the 12 tribes, we've been graped, man, seized, spoiled, or robbed. These words all similar meanings, right? Spoiled you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. And that's how the Most High feel. You spoiled his people, you touched his people, you used us as bartering chips, selling the boy for a harlot and a girl for wine, and tobacco and all of that, exchanging us. And the Most High be seeing all of that, right? And he says it's like you touched the apple of his eye, right? So, boy, you got one heck of a recompense coming, right? So let's go back to Joel 3. Behold, I arise them up out of their place, whither ye have spoiled them, and ye will return your recompense upon your own head. And there's also another precept. I ain't going to get that right now. That's in Isaiah 47. So yeah, he's going to punish them and bring them down to the dust. Babylon going to sit down in the dust. As a matter of fact, since that's a good precept, I ain't read it for a little while. Let me get that one too. Right, that's part of their recompense, them being recompensed. Isaiah 47, and I read 1. It says, Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, right? And it's kind of self-explanatory. Babylon haven't been touched yet. but they're going to be no longer virgins. They're going to be spoiled. They are going to be spoiled. All right, and the ultimate result is that they're going to be totally burn up when the missiles hit. Going to be smoldering and smoke, and you know, when you see some of them cowboy movies and you see when it's been deserted, all you see is tumbleweave going through the dusty, deserty Grand. So that's what Babylon's going to look like. Going to be full of the remains of the smoldering flames and tumbleweave just going through Babylon. All right, and that's what's going to be the result of Babylon. So they're going to sit down in the dust, all right. They're going to be spoiled. They ain't going to be virgins. Reading on, thy nakedness, jumping down to 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, the shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. There you have it. So yeah, just wanted to touch that precept to back up Joel 3 and 7. There you have it. A couple of precepts to back up the point. Let's get back to Joel chapters 3 and reading on in verse 8. Says, and I will sell your sons. There you have it. Now this is a transition. And I will send your sons and your daughters. That's the transition right there. Unto the land of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabeans. If I'm pronouncing it right. To the Sabeans, to a people let me read that again and take my time. And I will sell your sons and your daughters unto the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabeans. And the Sabeans are the Arabs once again today. That's how you describe them. They're the Arabs, right? The hand of the children, and they shall sell them to a people, the Sabeans, to a people for far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. Right, man, there you have it, man. That's Galatians 6 and 7. Whatsoever man soweth, that he shall also reap. Right? So the Lord himself said that. He's going to sell them, their daughters and their sons to the Sabeans. There you have it, man. All right? They're going to be the bargaining chips. They're going to be the, you know, for whatever, how the Most High sees fit. Right? And ultimately, then you're going to have Obadiah 18. That's going to be the end result of these people. So reading on in 9 of Joel chapter 3 says, proclaim ye this, Gentile, among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right, so yeah, preparing war right here, self-explanatory. Preparing war. You some right craziness, man. Yeah, yeah. Let me read that again. Joel 9 now. I'm in 9. Joel chapter 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Let them come up. Yeah, there you have it, man. Yeah, let's carry on reading. Self-explanatory. Assemble yourselves. No, 10. Beat your plowshares unto swords and your pruning hooks unto spears. Let the weak say I am strong. Yeah. So that's what the prophecy is, man. Right? That's the prophecy. The pruning hairs are farming tools. So they're gonna have to beat their swords into the plowshares. The plowshares represents them turning their weapons of war unto weapons of war, right? So and it says, "Let the weak say I'm strong," and that represents the weak nations, yeah, taking all their wealth and their investments and investing it in weapons of warfare, right? Preparing for war, as it says there, right? So that's what's happening. They're preparing for war. Reading on I'm now in verse 11. It says, Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathens, gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. More self-explanatory, right? Getting ready for war, preparing them for war. 13, put ye the sickle, right? The sickle represents the Lord's judgment, right? That's what the sickle represents, yeah? So we're in 13. Let me take my time, let me breathe and take in the scenery. I have a tendency to run ahead, I'm thinking too fast, and that's why I come out here to settle down and, to breathe somewhat. So let me, Joel chapters 3 and 13 again. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, right? The sickle represents the Most High's judgments. Down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Right, let's hit that precept, Revelations chapters 14, to further help the point. Revelations chapters 14 and straight to the point. 18, it says, and another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had a sharp sickle, saying, thrust in the sharp sickle, gather the clusters of the wine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. Right, here you have it. Made mentions there of the sickle representing the judgment, the Most High's judgment. And there's other precepts as well that can back up the point, but we're gonna just use this one. It makes the point good enough. 19 as well. And the angel thrust in his sickle in the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it unto the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. Right, Most High's judgment, or the Most High's wrath. And the angel be thrusting that sickle. Yeah, and it gives you a nice visual there too. In your mind, in your mind's eye. You can see it with your mind's eye. So the sickle, let's go back to it. Joel chapter 13, 3 and 13. Put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, from the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Most High's fattening them. That's like when you hear that word, something being fattened up for the kill. That's it. Most High be fattening them up for the kill. All right. Reading on. 14. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Yeah. So that represents the end of Esau's kingdom. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. Esau is the end of the kingdom. Jacob is the beginning of it, after if that follows. Yeah. So that's representing or getting ready. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near. Yeah, the valley of decision, right? Getting closer to the end of Esau's kingdom, the end of his kingdom, and the beginning of our kingdom. Lord Abarazar, we endure to the end, and the elect, right? The elect, or the hopeful elect, are going to endure to the end. Reading on in 15. Did I read 14? Yeah, I read 14. Now 15 says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Right, and that's spiritual, but it's also literal too. Once again, representing the end of Esau's kingdom. But yeah, things are getting brighter for us. The scripture says the light of the Lord get brighter and brighter, or wisdom that is given to his elect is represents light. So it's getting lighter and lighter for us, but in perspective, or the ease they be looking at it, and we see by we looking at their countenance, when they be walking, you can see their heads going down. A lot of them are homeless, right? A lot of them are begging. They're literally begging us for money now. So that's what you call a paradigm shift. Yeah, the so-called white man now is coming up to the black man now in his own kingdom and begging him for money. So, right, that's the darkness or wisdom getting dimmer. Yeah, as a wisdom been when it talks about the Temans. I think it's Genesis 39. Is there no more wisdom in Teman? Yeah. So the wisdom is leaving them, right? And you know, the Germans, which are one of the most intelligent Edomites, losing their wisdom. And yeah, the Mosai did use them to make the bombs and the project 50, was it project Project Paperclip, that's it, where he used a lot of his top intelligent men. I think it was the most intelligent of that time, and they used they came up with the atom bomb, and they created a lot of achievements or inventions, which is them that made the bomb anyway, right? The atom bomb, which they used against the Moab and Ammon with the Hiroshima Nagasaki around 1945, and but it was the Temans. But yeah, they was up in their peak at that time when they was creating all their inventions, the fastest cars, to name a few, a lot of their German cars, tanks, all different types of creations. What they call it now with these cars, what they call them? Tanks, submarines, also what they call it when these things they really move fast. So the name escapes me. When something moves really fast and it goes through and it's the name escapes me. But I know that eagles have it. Anyway, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can let's look, see if I can find it. As a matter of fact, let me just tap in Project Paperclip rather than so project what was project it's getting lively out here. Paperclip. What was Project Paperclip? Right, so that was around 1959. Yeah, between 1945 and 1960, the United States government brought more than there you have it. Now it's giving me what I was the number what I was looking for. More than 1,500 German scientists and engineers onto the country through Project Paperclip to work on guided missiles, jets, and rocket engines. That's the word I was looking for. Aerodynamic and aerospace medicines and submarine technology. There you have it. So that's Project Paperclip. The word I was looking for out of all the other words was aerodynamics, as well as the jets, the jet engines, medicines as well. All right, guided missiles, submarines. So let's get back. I say that I'll say that to say Joel 3 and 15 says the sun and the moon shall be darkened. Right, so that was when they was in their peak. But the Temanites, the Germans, was in their peak with the Project Paperclip. But they're losing their wisdom, and now they're seeing darkness, right? And the darkness, where it says there, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, right? Which is spiritual, but it's also literal to them. So yeah, to the Edomites, it's literal because everything's getting dark for them, right? And it's getting lighter for us, which light represents truth, and the light is shining upon Yahshua Allah even more so now, more so than ever. So I was in, let's read on 16. It says, and the Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. Right, the heavens and the earth shall shake, man. Right, that's the wrath of the Most High. Yeah. The The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of his children. There you have it, man. Right, the heavens and the earth shall shake. There are the missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, WW3. Right, the Most High, Yahweh Yahushai, gonna get his lick back, right? And that's what I like to talk about, right? In a lot of my lessons, I like to bring that out, because he has to get his first digs, his lick back, pursuant to Isaiah 63. Reading on in 17. And ye shall know, yeah. So there, the wicked are gonna know, right? They're gonna know, right? Shall know ye that I am the Lord, yeah. Your dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy once again, and there shall be no transgression, but peace. Right, let me read that again. Let me take my time. So ye shall know that I am the Lord, and your God dwelling in Zion. Yeah, what comes to mind? Isaiah 9 and 6. Right, Most High go and dwell among us. Yahushua go and dwell among us. The Prince of Peace, otherwise described as, yeah. Holy mountain, then shall Jerusalem be holy, right? Peace, separate from all these other nations, these other Goyim nations, not tainted by their abominable ways of living, right? Their nasty, abominable ways of defiled ways of living. So we ain't gonna be defiled, yeah. You know what I mean? On that low vibration, right? We're gonna come out away from that low vibration. So they shall know that I am the Lord, your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no stranger pass through anymore, right? They ain't even going to pass through, right? Self-explanatory. Reading on in 18. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills and flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and the fountain shall come forth of the house. Yeah, man. That's what you call restoration, right? The effects of their kingdom going to be established along with his elect men. Restoration, right? Flow with milk and honey, right? And we hear that, right? But it just means that we're going to be blessed with an abundance, right? I'm going to say infinity, abundance to infinity, restoration going to come upon us, right? And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with water, right? Water also represents abundance too, and refreshing, just to name a few: abundance, refreshing, cleansiness, hydrations. You know what I mean? Waters and fountains shall come forth out of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Right, man? There you have it, Akim. Represents abundance. So there you have it, really. Self-explanatory. Let me end off, because I just wanted to get into some of that breakdown. 22 verses, 21 verses. As a matter of fact, I was going to do a part 2, but there's no need. I was able to get through it in one sitting, right? So we're going to get an abundance, right? An abundance, which means, or infinity, which means can't finish, can't run out. And we're going to be restoration, going to be experience restoration, which is ultimate rest from disturbance. We're going to be a holy people once again, untouched, undisturbed, and we're going to be placed in our own land. So Egypt, let me read 19 and finish it off to the end. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Right, you hear that? Let me just take my time with that. Right, Egypt shall be a desolation, right? America, right, which we know is another word for bitter, or Amerigo, bitter. Yeah, Edom. We know Edom is the white man, so they're going to experience all the bitterness, the end of all of bitters of all bitters. Amerigo, America, right? Egypt shall be a desolation, and he shall be a desolate wilderness. Once again, that's going to be all we're going to see, right? Just when you think about those movies, or when there's been a shootout in a lot of those cowboys and Indian movies, when everyone's left town, you see tumbleweave, you know what I mean, and you see nothing but silence, nothing but a loud silence, as they say. So that's what it's going to be like. Desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in the land. Obadiah. Shame shall cover them, right? Because of the violence against our brother Jacob. 20. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that have not cleansed. Let me take my time, since it's the last one, and read it again. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. Right. So Yahushua going to dwell amongst us once again. Right. And that's going to be literal, spiritually, but also literally. Right. The Prince of Peace. So Kala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Right. So that's the end result for Babylon. Right. Bitterness. Going to be a desolate wilderness. And Yahshua Allah, we're going to get our own land back. Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem. We're going to be placed in our own land once again. Right? The ultimate sweet. So, until the next one, Akim, I want to say Shalom. Just wanted to get into that breakdown. Like I say, if I have to get into it at a later date and get into a little bit more words and other precepts be coming to me, you know, in via the blue letter, so be it. But yeah, that's what we have to look forward to. That's prophecy. The breakdown of Joel chapters 3. Prophecy. And I'm going to title this video the breakdown of Joel chapter 3. Some more sweet to look forward to. Until the next one, we out.